The Zenfone 2 was very sensibly priced and did extremely well. So it was understandable when Asus spun off multiple variants of the Zenfone 2. But given that the Zenfone 3 hasn't been well received thanks to the extravagant pricing on Asus's part, is the Zenfone 3 Max a phone worth considering? A Snapdragon 430 for 18,000 rupees. Is there any other possible reaction to this than, really Asus? Really? Well, let's find out in this video. But before we get to that, if this is your first time here, or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4E Tech, and this is our full review of the Asus Zenfone 3 Max. First, let's take a look at the build and design. To start with, let me answer the most commonly asked question from our unboxing. Why does this phone look different from another Zenfone 3 Max unboxing that I saw? Well, that's because this is the ZC553KL. Asus in their infinite wisdom have named two totally different phones with totally different specs and totally different design languages. They've named them the same, the Zenfone 3 Max. The other one, that's a cheaper variant with a 5.2-inch display. It has on-screen keys, no laser assist, and is powered by a MediaTek processor. Well, that's Asus naming for you. A separate rant video by itself. So let's leave that for another day and move on to the placements. To the front, we've got a 8-megapixel front-facing camera, the earpiece, sensors, and then there's a 5.5-inch display. And at the bottom, we've got capacitive keys that are not backlit. 18K Snapdragon 430, keys not backlit. The back's made out of metal, and here we have the 16-megapixel camera, a dual-tone dual LED flash, a laser assist for autofocus, the fingerprint scanner, and Asus branding at the bottom. The power button and the volume rockers can be found to the right. The micro USB port, speaker, and the primary microphone reside at the bottom. There's a 3.5mm headphone jack and the secondary noise cancelling microphone located up top. And we've got a tray to the left. Here's where we can add either two SIM cards or a SIM and a micro SD card. The Zenfone 3 Max is just 8.3mm thick and weighs in at around 175 grams. And like I said in the unboxing, it feels solid in hand, but the design does feel generic, like we've seen it many a times in the past. That doesn't make it a bad design. While it's tired, it definitely feels practical if a tad slippery. The display here is a 5.5-inch Full HD IPS LCD, meaning a pixel density of 400 pixels per inch. There's no mention of Gorilla Glass, but it is covered by 2.5D glass, so a subtle curve at the edges. The colors appear a little washed out, no issues with viewing angles or brightness levels. Under the hood, this variant of the Zenfone 3 Max, like I mentioned, is powered by the entry-level Snapdragon 430 chip. Now that's the same one that's found on the Redmi 3S that's priced at 7,000 rupees. Anyway, there's 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of onboard storage and a 4100 mAh battery, hence the Max in Zenfone 3 Max. The benchmark scores, as expected, are entry-level scores, nothing special. This phone does perform okay with gaming, casual games, fine, stutters with intensive titles. Remember, again, for 18,000 rupees, you can get Snapdragon 820 devices, the Lumax 2, Lenovo Z2 Plus, Xiaomi Mi 5. So compared with them, the gaming performance is really not good. Asus's big USP or unique selling point for this phone is the fact that it supports reverse charging. Use a USB OTG cable and you can charge another device with this. I don't see it as a useful addition, because most phones support this anyway, and while 4100 mAh might be a big number, the battery life on this guy is nowhere close to the 2-day mark. And with regular usage, don't get me wrong, with my kind of usage, which involves a couple of hours of calls, a lot of music via Bluetooth, an hour or so of streaming video, some casual gaming now and then, and with this type of usage, the Zenfone 3 Max easily managed to last me through a day on a single charge on each of the 5 days I used this phone as my primary device. But it ended each day with about 20% juice left. That's cool, but still it's no Marathon M5 or Vibe P1 to have enough excess juice left for me to be able to charge other devices with it. So the reverse charging part of things, that just feels like marketing. Here's a poll, let me know if you agree or not. Anyway, Just because we touched on calls here, I had a hard time with cellular reception on this phone. I had calls that got dropped. One of the two SIMs constantly lost connectivity. Remember, I live in a place where reception is generally horrible, but with most phones I test, at least once I go outdoors, I don't have any issues. But at times with the Zenfone 3 Max, even outdoors I had to keep toggling airplane mode on and off. Even then, there were some instances where I had a drop, had the bars go off in the middle of my calls. Maybe it's just cause my area has reception issues, maybe I have a faulty unit, or maybe the reception just sucks. If you own one, let us know in the comments below how it fares for you. Anyway, as far as the camera goes, the Zenfone 3 Max sports a 16 megapixel camera with an f2.0 aperture. There's support for both face detection and laser autofocus. No optical image stabilization though. The camera performance was mediocre at best. And a good light, it's okay. There's some noise in the images. They seem a tad underexposed. The dynamic range is mediocre. And a low light though, the performance dips sharply. The images are very dark, you can barely make out what's what. And to illustrate that further, here are some sample images shot with both the Zenfone 3 Max and the Moto G4 Plus side by side. You let me know if you can see a difference. I'm not at all impressed with the Zenfone 3 Max's camera performance here. For video, this camera can shoot 1080p video at 30 frames per second. The frame rate's a little choppy, the dynamic range is poor. Just look at the blown out highlights here. Details okay, but not a great experience overall. The front camera does perform very well for selfies, that is a saving grace. And on that note, let's now talk software. The Zenfone 3 Max runs on Asus ZenUI 3.0 built on top of Android 6 Marshmallow. We have regular ZenUI features here, including a Themes app to customize the look and feel of the interface. With regular day-to-day usage, the user experience is actually good. But when things got a little heavy, there was a little bit of a stutter here and there. The fingerprint scanner felt fast and accurate. This is an active scanner, so wakes the Zenfone 3 Max from sleep. Overall, if priced at around the 12,000 rupee mark, I'd say the user experience was good. But given that Asus have priced this phone at 18,000 rupees, of course higher the price, higher the expectations, and at this price the 430 chip underneath coupled with a full HD display, it just comes up short. Let's pause here for a minute. We've got the 430, above which we've got the 6 series, the 615, 616, 617, 625, 650, 808, 810, 820. And like I mentioned earlier, we've got 3 brands selling an 820 phone at this price segment. Asus, in my honest opinion, just doesn't command the same brand value as a Samsung or an Apple. So the pricing here seems very, very high. So my conclusion, the Zenfone 3 Max, given its mediocre performance with, well, performance and cameras and the reception issues, I don't see myself recommending this phone even if it were priced at 12,000 rupees, let alone at 18,000 rupees. I guess we now have an answer to the question from my intro. Anyway, even if you really want to stick with Asus, the 5.2-inch variant of the Zenfone 3, which is kind of overpriced by itself, but that seems to offer better value. It looks better, it has a much better camera, and though the battery might be smaller in capacity, the Snapdragon 625 chip is very battery friendly and should easily get you through a day, and you'd be better off getting that phone. So anyway, if you still insist on getting a Zenfone 3 Max, use my affiliate links from the description. And that's it for my 2 cents. Do you agree with what I've had to say in this video? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, vote it down if you didn't, and hit that subscribe button down below for more content like this. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye now.